Marhaba, salam alaikum, اسمي Heather. Who is Heather? So I'm British, I'm a Gemini, and I studied journalism at university. And I really love animals, I love food, I love adventure. I love people. I think it was the YouTube channel, first of all. Like it was basically a random suggestion for someone. Like they asked me to do a reaction video, and I just thought, why not? Like I didn't know much about Egypt except what the media had told me. And then from that video, which I didn't expect to get any views, that's when a lot of people started messaging me on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. And I kind of saw the personality of Egyptians then being very welcoming, like, thank you, come to Egypt. And from there I thought, I feel like everything happens for a reason. I believe in the universe. So I thought, well, maybe there's a reason to go to Egypt. And then I kept learning more about it through the music videos or the commercials or just speaking to people online. So then that made me more excited to come because I've never been so drawn to a country before. Okay, I've been to Luxor, Aswan, Alexandria, Dahab and St. Catherine and Sinai. My favourite place was Dahab, definitely.
Can you say why?
I think there's just something about sea, and it was the first time that I properly snorkeled because I've never known how to do it. And when I looked down in the blue hole and saw all the fish, I kind of was like, this is so beautiful. Like, how is this happening? So for me, that was like one of the most euphoric moments I've had in my existence, seeing all the wildlife. Because I'm used to looking wildlife on the street or in zoos, but never underwater. So yeah, for me that was a moment I'll never forget. I think so. I'm traveling with groups normally, but even when I'm on my own I feel safe. I feel like there's always someone there to help when I've struggled. So yeah, it's safe. The most interesting thing I've seen people do. Yeah, crossing the road. Whoa! And like there's traffic lights in the UK. It's a law. You can't walk into the middle of the road, otherwise you have to pay a lot of money for that. So here, just seeing people randomly cross the road and not get run over, it's a talent. It just seems like nobody really cares about safety. I'll always be worrying about if I move here, will I get hurt, or people just go for it here. There's no concept of risk, but everyone survives, no seatbelts.
Before their mistakes.
Yeah. The very brave people, Egyptians. So, yeah, you should be proud of that. Dangerous thing I've tried. Let's think. Probably hiking up the mountain, because there's no safety elements there. You just climb up. They don't even tell you how far you're going. You do it in the dark. So I was scared for my life. Yeah, the mountain.
St. Catherine, you ascended in the dark?
Yeah, we went up in the night. So I have no idea where we were going. We just followed somebody, but I had flip-flops on, so.
No one must have heard.
Yeah. I would say Egyptian people are very helpful and very intelligent.
Intelligent.
Open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From what people had told me, like my friends and family, they'd said a lot of bad words about Egypt, that it was very unsafe or very dirty, or it was just a bad place to be. I mean, I have seen the dirty places, but I've also seen the beauty. I feel like Egypt is a place which has the beauty and the bad in one. So you just have to choose which side you see of it, and luckily I see the beauty in Egypt. Culture shock, okay. So I feel I didn't really have much of a culture shock just because I understood the culture a bit more from the YouTube channel, so people would tell me what to expect. I think the thing that shocked me the most was kids working. There's a lot of children working and a lot of stray animals, like more than I expected. But other than that, I find you just gotta go with the flow. Like I've been here 3 weeks and so many plans get changed. Everything moves around every single day. But if you just learn to like sit back, relax, and just play it by ear, as we say in the UK, it's fine.
So I think it's more about preparing yourself to adapt to the new culture.
Yes, exactly. And I also think that having Egyptian friends and trying the food and getting to know the place, you don't get a culture shock because you're immersing yourself in it. It's when you isolate yourself from it and just view it as, and see all the bad things, that's when you have a culture shock. I would say, so it depends where you go. So in a place like Cairo, a lot more people may speak English. But if you're traveling to a city where there's not many tourists, then you're going to struggle. So I think before you go, maybe have a few Arabic lessons or Egyptian Arabic lessons. Or sometimes I've just used Google Translate to get by. So it hasn't been an issue so far. I just normally see people in a crowd and go, "Excuse me," and whoever turns around, I know they speak English and they'll help me. The food, I love the food so much. It's my favorite. Is it Ana Baheb Akl?
Yeah.
In Masr? I never said that right. But the food's been incredible. I love kosheri. I have it every day. It's my favorite thing. I love the falafel here. It's very crispy. Back home, it's very squishy. What else do I love? My stomach is starting to rumble. Suri, actually. I know it's not Egyptian, but that's really nice. What else have I tried? All the fresh juice is really good. I tried this one fresh juice, I forgot the name, but it's like brown coloured. What else have I tried? I think, those are my favourite ones. Musa'a. I can't pronounce it though, so it's back home it's moussaka, because we take it from the Greek, but musa'a. Yeah, that's also my favourite. And the rice
There's
here.
Musa'an in England? There's Musa'an in England?
It's more like moussaka, so it's not with aubergine, it's kind of more lamb-based. So it's very different, but the food here, the musa'a, it's very tasty, very delicious. I think it's been very easy. Even when I've been traveling, they have set meals, which is normally rice, chicken, and then the vegetables. I just take off the chicken, and then it's still a meal. I can still enjoy that. So it's like everything's accessible. So I could just have musa'a, or I could just ask for falafel. And actually, the vegan food or vegetarian food is cheaper. So I'm saving a lot more money than paying for meat. So it's been very easy. Like different countries. Where have I been before? I've been to the Philippines, and I think that prepared me for this because that's very similar, as in no seat belts, people take risks. More near-death experiences there than here. But I've travelled to a lot of European countries. I've been to Canada, I used to live there, America. So I've mainly been to westernized countries. This was my first experience in an Arabic country. Based upon my experience, I'd say 8 or 9, because it's how you want to enjoy a place. If I go to Spain or Italy or anywhere like that, then I'm just a tourist and I'll have pizza, and you'll see British people and you don't feel any different. But I feel here I've grown a lot more as a person, and I've really enjoyed the company of all the Egyptian people I've met and learning about the whole place. For me, I love asking questions and learning about cultures, because for me, it's so different. In whichever country you go to, there's something new to learn. So speaking to Egyptian people, they're very curious about what goes on in other countries. So from my experience, I've enjoyed it more because I've been with local people rather than just tourists. There's many places. I'd always say Dahab because that was my favourite, but it's more touristic, so you don't really get the full Egyptian experience when you're in a place like that. So I'd always recommend go to Cairo, see it, because I feel like that's the true Egypt, where you'll see everything, the rubbish, everything that you would have a culture shock from, you'd go there. But it's always worth going to the other places like the desert or the mountain and getting yourself out of that environment. I think that's when you start to really enjoy Egypt. Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. Everything's too cheap. I think I went out for a meal and I had spaghetti, fries and a drink, and it cost me like less than £2, which is unbelievable. Or diving in Dahab, well, snorkeling, for everything and a meal and 2 drinks, it was less than £8. £8 is like a train journey from my hometown to Manchester. So it's too cheap, I think.
So a month here in Egypt, what, as a British girl, what would it cost you?
Approximate cost of spending a month in Egypt?
A month? It depends on what experience you're doing. So with ISEC, I paid money to them, but if I was coming here on my own, a month? It depends, but it could cost like 300, well, in pounds, British pounds. I would say maybe like, do you mean without the flights or with the flights?
No, fine.
Without flights, then probably £200, £300, depending on how budget you go. But if you stay within the local area, then it's very cheap. Whereas £300 could be like a weekend in Paris or Rome. So very cheap. Egypt in 3 words. Exciting. I would say opens your mind. So I don't know what word that would be. Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh, 3 words. Okay, maybe I'll do one word. I'd say changes your mindset.
Okay, that's good.
You can add hyphens to make it one word.
Yes, change your mind in a good way.
You know, you can tell the culture of food.
Yeah. So I already looked for that book beforehand. I miss poetry, I miss story every day, I miss the fresh fruit and vegetables.
It's actually different between Egyptian falafel and Syrian falafel.
Yeah, I tried the crispy one.
Yeah, in Syria they made it from hummus.
Oh, you make it from beans, don't you?
Yeah.
I tried the beans one. Is much better than the chicken.
El Maiz Street.
Moet, is that what it looks like?
El Maiz.
Yeah, I've not really been to downtown Cairo.
You should.
I've walked around, but I haven't been to the mosques or anything.
I think this is one of the greatest places you can ever go.
What's on the street?
It's you go into the old Egypt, and it's when Egypt was still like a fort.
Oh.
It's like in the Middle Ages.
But that's
Where
like
people-
very